Welcome back to... That's right. We're here in the studio with AMP team rider Chad Kagy. Round of applause. Thanks, guys. Greetings, Chad. How are you, sir?
I'm doing just fine. Glad to be back.
You're back on your bike. You had a bad crash in Chicago. What happened, buddy?
Chicago didn't go as planned. Rather than finishing my vert run, I ended up falling asleep for about 3 minutes on the flat bottom of the vert ramp. So double flare gone
you can
wrong.
Remember?
Just when I opened up my eyes and everybody was standing over me, that's when I realized, ooh, that went wrong.
Oh, no.
Oops.
So no pain involved until hours later, probably?
Yeah, it takes a little while for all that stuff to set in, and then the next day when you realize you can't walk up the stairs, that your hip hurts pretty bad.
Do you watch a slam like that on video afterwards?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I want to watch it to know exactly what went wrong, because if I knock myself out, I really don't remember what went wrong.
What did go wrong, per the video?
See, when I'm at home riding Woodward, we've got resi, and resi's the plastic over foam, and it's at a different angle than the actual ramp. So when I land that trick at home, I'm landing 1.5 feet higher than where I would land on the real ramp, and I did the trick exactly like I do at home, and realized when I'm aiming straight, ready to ride away, I had 1.5 feet until I touched the ramp, so I over-rotated and smashed my head on the ground.
Ouch, ouch.
Oops.
I saw that on TV. That was not looking good. So, you know,
It hurt.
when you're recovering and getting ready for another contest, do you redo the trick a bunch of times? Do you avoid the trick, or how do you deal with that?
I allow the bruise on my brain to heal by not riding my bike for a good solid 2 weeks, and then I get back into it. It depends on how the crash went and what the injury was. There's certain tricks, like when I broke my neck, I stopped doing that trick, and that was 8 years ago. Haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
But that trick knocked me out. I'm not going to let it get the best of me. So I went back out and fired a few out at home on resi and realized what I did wrong, adjusted it, and I'm going forward with it.
And then, you know, not even a few weeks later, you're getting second and third at X Games. That's amazing. Round of applause for Chad at X Games.
Thank you.
So tell us about how that weekend went for you.
Never a bad thing to come home with 2 medals. enter 2 events and come home with 2 medals. I mean, it was a very productive weekend, and everything seemed to work pretty well, but for me personally, I could feel I was just a hair off, and I couldn't land everything I wanted to on the big air ramp.
I've been up there on the top of that mega ramp, and I can't imagine rolling into that thing. What's it like, you know? I mean, first off, when did you start riding the mega ramp?
You have to have a couple screws loose to want to drop in on it. You're going 50 miles an hour on a BMX bike. And for me, I'm going upside down 50 miles an hour.
And there's no trying to roll into that thing and bailing.
There's no warm-up.
No.
You just go.
So when's the first time you attempted it?
2005, I believe. DC invited me out to Mexico City to do a demo with all the skateboarders. That was the first time I rode it. And I'm riding with a bunch of skateboarders, so there's nobody for me to gauge speed off of. Typically,
and there was no resi or anything.
Nothing.
No.
It's just, there's the ramp, go. And there was a perch sitting there where they set the tail on there and then just drop in. And for me, it's pegs or sit on my wheels and just jump in.
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah.
Okay, go. All right, I'm just going to test it out, and you just test it out. You don't want to go too slow, but too fast sucks too. There's not much of a margin of error there.
And where do you think it's all going to end? I mean, Danny's got all these crazy plans for rails and for the landing, for the quarter pipes and stuff. I mean, how crazy do you think it's going to get?
There's no end. There is no end. I mean, you look at what we've been doing for the last 10 years on bikes and skateboards and motocross. It's constant progression.
Yeah.
And when you talk to Danny, he won't let it slip what he's got plans for. But then the rail jam comes out.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I've got adjustments to the quarter pipe to make it a little more friendly so that people who don't ride vert want to ride it. And we've got other things. So it makes you think, wow, do you have a hip? Do you have some sort of gigantic wedge to grind? Like, what is it that you're going to use up there?
Yeah.
Something will get morphed into something else, and we'll all make adjustments to it.
After that, you did something interesting. You took a break from riding. Tell us what you did after the X Games.
I expanded into motorsports and took something that I just have a passion for and went for it. I went road racing on my motorcycle. So I've got a Yamaha 600cc R6.
600 cc's?
Yeah.
I think I've ridden a 50.
That's
so 12 of those.
It's about the same, except a lot faster. It's just about like that.
Yeah.
And I drove down to Virginia the weekend after X Games and entered my first race. And I went in, got set up, and they just said, all right, you need to do this, 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 and this. Now go do your practice. Got to know the track, ran it hard, and went from 19th place up to 8th place in a 6-lap race.
8th place.
Yeah,
Not
so making
bad.
top 10 in
Not
my
bad.
first race, and it's a
Kagy
national.
Racer, I think, is coming for
Not
the future.
bad.
Well, hey, Chad's a busy guy. Thank him for coming out today, guys. Round of applause.
Thank you, guys.